Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and peace on you, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I keep thanking you so much for welcoming me into your sitting rooms, perhaps into your coffee rooms, perhaps even on a little screen on YouTube. Thank you so much for making me part of your lives. Ladies and gentlemen, you will witness with your friend Wahid certain facets of society. Usually we look at the various aspects of Islam, that what we believe in, facets of life, facets of society, the basic tenets of decency that we all subscribe to and aspire to. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a rare opportunity when we get a chance to speak about certain things that sometimes we don't even get an opportunity to talk about or even think about. Tonight is one of these nights when I have with me somebody that I've just met briefly, but within these brief moments I've spent with her, somebody for whom I've developed not only a deep sense of respect, but a sense of love and closeness. Somebody that I would like to learn from, somebody that I would like to listen to, somebody that I would like to welcome into your lives if you would permit me to do so. Srimati Kamla Basin ji, welcome to my program again. Thank you so much. Namaskar wa salam alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and may your days be glorious. You have served humanity for so long in your life, ma'am. In a previous program we have heard of your contributions to that beautiful and great country that I call my India as well, if you would permit me to do so.
MashaAllah.
You know, and we were talking about feminism.
Ji.
And if I may disturb you on behalf of my audience,
Ji.
by throwing a question at you, just start with, because we've gone through your introduction before.
Right, sir.
A very controversial question. You know, when we talk about feminists, we think of women. You know, that woman is a feminist, this woman is a feminist, and we've seen our feminists who can sometimes turn you off. We've talked about that previously, but just for the record, there are certain kinds of feminists, proclaimed feminists, I wouldn't call them, who sometimes turn me off.
Ji.
But then I meet the real feminist, the real thing.
Ji.
You know, and it's such a wonderful experience. As it looks like I'm doing a lot of talking this evening, but you will permit me to say this.
Ji, ji.
You know, I've not said this before on this program. People call me Ogaru Wahid. That Ogaru, I'm very proud to say, is my mother's family name.
What?
And I'm my mother's son,
Kya baat?
the father of 3 daughters and 1 son, the brother of 4 sisters. You know, and in our family we got lots of women, and
Ji.
thank God for that. You know, makes life beautiful.
Ji.
You know, for a man like me with a lot of women around him, some people even accuse me of being too woman friendly, if such a thing is possible.
Ji.
I don't think that such a thing is possible. You cannot be too friendly with women. You know, she's human, you're a human, so
Absolutely, sir.
what's the difference?
What's the big deal, yeah.
Therefore, my question is, can a man be a feminist?
You see, the definition I shared with you last time was anyone who recognizes that there is discrimination against women and who takes action against it. So
Okay.
in that definition, anyone, so a man can definitely be a feminist, and a woman can be anti-feminist. Because
Oh,
all women are not feminists.
no, let me pick you up on this. How can
Ji.
a woman be anti-feminist?
Well, they don't agree with us. You think all women agree with feminists? I mean, our
Enlighten.
biggest critics are other women who say, no, I'm not a feminist.
Then what are they?
They are women who believe in patriarchy, who control their daughters, who expect dowries from their sons' weddings. They live life within patriarchal norms and do all those traditions and customs which constantly put the man on a pedestal and put the woman down.
Here's the puck in me, the devil's advocate coming through at you, man. How about this? If a woman consciously chooses to be that, to be subservient, to be under a man, and it's a voluntary choice. There are women like that.
Right.
Your reaction?
I would call it very unfortunate. I don't believe in any kind of slavery. I think it diminishes you as a human being. So if a woman is doing this, I would find it very difficult that it is voluntary. It is thousands of years of thinking, of patriarchal thinking, of traditional thinking that man is superior. So that it is voluntary, I'll find it difficult. Like many women say, oh, I dress up like this, like Barbie, out of choice. I don't believe it. Because when you go to their house, they're roaming around totally, not dressed. So they're not dressing up for themselves. But as soon as they have to go out or someone is coming in, then all the painting starts.
Okay.
So, but even if you say it is totally voluntary, then I would say unfortunate.
There's something wrong in there.
Yes, because human beings are not born to be subservient. They're born to be equal.
Something else you said, all this painting starts. Is it somehow anti-feminist to paint?
No, there are different kinds of feminists. I'm one of those who again emphasizes that our beauty is not in red or pink lips or pink cheeks. Like, I'm totally against this Indian product which is fair and lovely.
Oh no,
those
that one.
Beauty queen, those beauty creams. We South Asians are not meant to be fair. We are meant to be nice and brown and beautiful.
Ma'am, I'm browner than you are.
And again this inferiority complex, again this thing that the Europeans, the whites are superior. And what is this skin deep superiority and beauty? So that's where I said that painting, because that's why you see my gray hair not yet, not colored and all that. So bhai, ye hai, this is what I am.
Yes.
Take it
or leave it. Exactly. I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take that and be grateful for it.
Lovely.
Talking about that, if a man wants to be a feminist and he still has not quite got the idea, but he wants to be one, and his spirit tells him that he has got to be a feminist. He's not yet quite there. How would you take a man by the hand, show him the road, light up the dark lanes? How would you do that?
Just ask that friend, how does it feel when somebody puts him down? How does it feel when somebody insults him or takes him for granted? Does it feel good inside? The answer has to be no.
Okay.
If it doesn't feel good like that to you, we women are also human. And for me, really, there is no other way to convert anyone, man or woman, than through a dialogue, than as a friend.
Lovely.
Aristotle is supposed to have said, you cannot teach anyone but as a friend. Whether I am with a woman or a man, if I am in a dialogue with them, I do it with full respect to that person.
Yes.
Not saying, ye to ab mard hai, this is a man, come on. If I'm trying to do something, then full respect. And it's so wonderful that people have different ideas. That's what makes life exciting. As long as we believe in some basic values of equality, of fairness, of justice.
Equality.
Kareem, Allah's name, Kareem.
Yes.
Karam karne wala. Rahim, रहम करने वाला. मेरा कहना है कि अपने दिल में थोड़ा सा रहम, थोड़ा सा करम ले आओ, खूबसूरत इंसान बन जाओ. feminist ban gaye.
Ji. And to say that in English?
Just have compassion,
Mm-hmm.
a name of Allah.
Yes.
Have caring for other people.
Mm-hmm.
Become human, that's what you are.
Exactly.
A male who dominates is not human. A man who violates, or a woman who violates others,
Mm-hmm.
is not human. So all feminism, my feminism. And sir, just as there is no one Islam,
Please, I'm your disciple.
अरे क्या बात है? Just as there's no one Islam, there's no one Hinduism, there's no one socialism, there's no one feminism. There are feminisms. So you can meet other feminists who might disagree with me. That's what is the beauty of all these isms. So this is my feminism. And my feminism is a road which is spiritual, which basically makes me a better human being. And for me, gender equality is not how many women ministers and how many men ministers. Gender equality is when the man inside me and the woman inside me is in balance.
Okay.
That's what, for me, gender equality is. Am I strong and compassionate? Am I rational and emotional? So Mother Teresa is a combination of the so-called masculine qualities
Yes.
and feminine qualities. And she was not a biological mother. And look at the millions of children she looked after.
Absolutely.
And Mahatma Gandhi once said, I'm told people in India are calling me father of the nation, but actually I'll be happiest the day somebody thinks I'm good enough to be a mother.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Isn't that courageous to say that in India?
That's right.
Absolutely. And that brings me to a most appropriate question. You know, let me talk to you a little bit about this.
Ji.
Very often you get this, where a man who is emotionally moved, if he sheds a few tears,
Ji.
somehow he is labeled effeminate.
Absolutely.
You know, he is supposed to wear a flowered pink shirt
Ji.
and walk around like this.
Yeah.
But something about that statement doesn't quite ring true sometimes. But ladies and gentlemen, with that very, very strange remark, I'll be taking you a leave just for a few seconds. Do not go away.
ಹಫ್ತಾಗೆ ಸುವಾಲು ಇಸ್ತಿಸ್ಕಾ ನಮಾದ್ ಪುರಾ ವಗುತಕಿ ಕೊಬಾ ಎ ಅಸುರು ನಮಾದುಗೆ ಫಹುಂ ಬಿ ಇಶಾ ನಮಾದುಗೆ ಫಹುಂ ಸಿ ಲುಹಾ ನಮಾದುಗೆ ವಗುತು SMS ಕುರಾನ ಗೊತಕಿ HA ಜಹಾಫ ಹುಸ್ತಂಕೊಳೆ ದೂಕುರುಮ ಫಹು ಎ ನುವತ ಬಿ ನುವತ ಸಿ ಜಹಾಫ ತಿನೆಸ್ಸು ಮೆಸ್ಸುಮಕ ಬುರಾಸ್ವತಿ ದೋಗೆರೆ ಅಶಜ್ಜಾಂದೆನ್ SMS ಕುರವೇಣೆ
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Thank you for your patience. And we were talking about a certain kind of man, I believe. Somebody who, if he sheds a few tears, is believed to be effeminate. He should wear a pink shirt, that sort of thing. You know, I don't know, that statement somehow doesn't quite work with me, because personally, I myself, I'm not even ashamed to do this or even say this. If something happens to me which makes me sad and which makes me want to shed a few tears, I'm quite open to it. I don't hide it.
Human beings.
Am I effeminate?
You are a human being.
I am.
Human beings have emotions.
Yes.
And if you kill your emotions, you do not remain human. A feminist has...
Not to mention the blood pressure.
And not to mention the bald hair, because I think all the hair which men normally lose is out of this, I think. A feminist psychologist, I think, or just a feminist, has called emotional castration of men.
Good heavens. Very strong language.
Yes, but very appropriate. If you kill the emotions of men, what happens? They get out of touch with their emotions. So if they are angry for a parking place, they'll take out a gun and kill the person. Look at all the violence in the world. When you don't leave a man to be in touch with his emotions. Anger is okay for a man to be angry, but don't cry. Mother is dying, has to behave as if nothing is happening, forever strong.
That's not strength.
That's not strength. That's not human. And look at the pressure on men then, always to be right, always to be strong, always to be superior. This is a terrible place to be in, not to be able to say, I'm scared. I don't like this. To be human. Patriarchy wants men to be these supermen, and hardly any one of them are that. And we women know it.
I will share with you something. Once I was caught, quote unquote, caught on live television with a couple of tears on my face. And people ragged me for years on that issue.
Can you imagine?
Little crybaby you. And I said to myself, no, this is wrong.
Yeah.
You know, I'm human. And if a few tears roll down my face, so be it.
You know, Amir Khan has been doing these programs called Satyameva Jayate.
Gee.
And I've appeared on both times on that.
Okay.
I mean, how many times that man cried on that program listening to
Yes.
human stories.
Yes.
My brothers, all three of them, every time we meet each other, we cry. Every time we separate, we cry. And it is so beautiful to see a man cry, a woman cry, just as it's beautiful to see people smile and laugh.
So it is not a feminine thing to shed a few tears.
It is
It's
a
a human.
human. It's a human thing.
said
If you
that
have a
together.
heart, do men have a heart? So I say, I've actually prepared a banner. Men, be brave. Don't be afraid of crying and being emotional.
Absolutely.
Keep your humanity. We
Right.
don't want men who can't cry when they are sad, but are okay being angry whenever they want. Those kinds of men are out from our lives, and we are teaching our daughters now. We don't want these macho men. Don't go for them. Don't teach your brothers not to be macho. Never go near a man who's macho.
Okay, here's another problem.
Gee.
You know, again, ladies and gentlemen, don't you come at me with that thing again. You're a woman's man. Don't you do that to me. I am a woman's man, though. But let me tell you this. You know, if you see a woman who is beautiful, you know, and you could be a photographer, you could be, you know, a man who dabbles in art like me, you know, you could be a painter, you know, you could like your doodling. And if you see a woman and if you find her attractive,
Gee.
not necessarily that your biological urges pick up, no.
Gee.
You just find her, you know, in her, certain things that you find appealing, even visually appealing,
Gee.
you know, psychologically uplifting.
Yeah.
Is there anything wrong in telling her, you look beautiful?
Not at all.
Sometimes,
Gee.
I've had this experience myself. I've had people who call themselves feminists coming at me and telling me, oh, you womanizer, you great flirt, you.
You know, you can't blame them, because how many men would say it for the reasons you just outlined? She's beautiful, she's lovely, she's psychologically appealing. Most women experience men saying these things in the wrong way. 90% of them would be saying in that way. There is that rare 10% man who's not saying it for those wrong ways. And it becomes very difficult for us to know from where that person is coming.
Okay.
10% men perhaps have given 90% men a bad reputation. So we, you know, a man who, you know, touches you nicely, you're not sure, because most of them or many of them don't. So it could be that, but just as we can, or even you, can look at a beautiful man, beautiful flower, beautiful Maldivian sunset.
Yes.
Similarly,
All of God's blessings.
absolutely. So similarly, but to constantly look physical beauty in a woman,
That's cheap.
that's pathetic.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, women come in all sizes and shapes and all shades of beauty, and beauty lies.
All shades of beauty, you say.
Yes, and beauty lies in beholder's eye. Have you ever seen a person who smiles and who's not beautiful?
I have not.
I haven't either.
You know, this is way off the topic, but I must say this. I sometimes help this organization, Television Maldives,
Gee.
do presenter training. And one of the first things I tell them is, it doesn't really matter what you look like. If you get your smile right, you look wonderful.
That's it.
You know?
That's what it is.
That's what it is. And this is what a lot of people misunderstand.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
And some of them call themselves feminists.
You see, we can call ourselves whatever, but that doesn't really mean anything. I mean, they call
Exactly.
themselves feminist and say those things, then it's just feminism's misfortune.
And here's a slight left turn.
Gee,
And you've come to the Maldives
gee.
on this particular occasion with the purpose in mind. May I ask you what it is?
I don't know whether you've heard that for the last 2.5 years, we are carrying on a global campaign,
We, in the sense.
in the sense women and men of the world,
Okay.
who are sick and tired of violence against women.
Oh.
Out of every 3 women in the world, according to the UN, 1 experiences violence. Globally, there are 7 billion people, so 3.5 billion women and girls. If out of 3, 1 is violated, over 1 billion women experience violence.
A seventh of mankind.
Sir, 1 billion. So we have a campaign called 1 billion rising. If 1 billion are experiencing violence, then 1 billion women and men and children who love and respect women will rise up and say, finished. No more will we accept this. No more of this patriarchal violence. So I was here to talk about this because here Hope for Women, a group, they have been doing this. My slogan in the last 1.5 years has been, behind every violence, there is love of power. Some people love power, so they put others down. Behind every domination, so I'm saying no to love of power, yes to power of love. So I'm here to say, let us all globally say no to violence against women. This is the biggest war humanity has ever seen. And this is the only war which takes place within a home, which shows how violent our families are, our homes are. Because in India, the government figures are 40% husbands beat their wives. And under present law,
What's the actual percentage?
would be higher, I think.
Okay.
And today's Indian law says domestic violence is unacceptable. A man who's married to a woman has no right to beat her, just as parents we don't have right to beat our children. As employers we don't have rights to beat our servants. So a man does not have a right to beat. So 40% husbands beating their wives is pathetic.
It is.
And can you imagine the impact of this on the children?
Well, they grow up the same.
Absolutely, they grow up the same. So this movement called 1 Billion Rising, that was one of the reasons.
Okay.
And since I was coming, my friends arranged for some discussions and some talks, and last night I was talking to a lot of young people about what we have been talking about, patriarchy.
Did you have a
gender.
question and answer time?
Oh my goodness, longer. I spoke for about 40 minutes and they grilled me for about 80.
Would you like to share some of the salient points that came up with the general audience that I have here?
You see, first of all, people are using the word gender without knowing what it means.
Okay.
This concept of gender is a new concept, and it doesn't mean men and women. It doesn't mean male, female. It means the way society defines a girl and a boy, a man and a woman.
Oh, that is something we can do research on.
Absolutely, the way society defines. So a girl will not go out. Society is saying that. A girl will not climb a tree. A boy will not cry. A boy will not go into the kitchen to help the mother. This is all society taught things, and it is not by nature, this is not biological. Nature has not said, for example, that all women will pierce their ears. Nature has given us enough holes.
And
so we don't need to do this. If you like it, you do it. And if a boy likes it, you do it. So what gender, the concept, separates biology from socio-cultural things.
I see.
And biology does not make us unequal. It makes us different.
Different?
But not unequal, not superior, inferior. Society makes us superior, inferior. Men are superior, women inferior. White people of the world superior. Brahmins superior. Rich superior. All these.
And the basic message there is that it all boils down to this: understand who you are.
Absolutely.
And that's your message.
And the message is all human beings are born equal and free in dignity and rights. This is Article 1 of the Human Rights Declaration.
Wonderful.
All human beings
Wonderful.
are born equal and free in dignity and
Wonderful.
rights.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And what a beautiful message. Kamlaji, you know what's happened to us? We've run out of time.
Oh, again.
Again. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tolerating our chatter this evening and for letting us be part of your evening. I hope to be with you very soon with another episode of Witness with Wahid. Until then, I'm always in your debt. You have a good evening. You go out there, empower yourselves, be proud of who you are, enjoy life, and sometimes do not forget to look up there and be thankful for the blessings we have. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.